Hello everyone. Now that I have all of my objects ready, I can start working on my first level. So Command N to create a new scene. I'm going to go to plus other node, and I just want node this time. So I'm going to create a node, and I'm going to name this level 1. Notice I'm not using any spaces in the name. Sometimes that can cause problems with paths later on. All right, and I do want to be really careful here. I don't want to accidentally grab my blend files. I want to use the scenes that I've actually prepared. So I'm just going to minimize the assets folder and make sure I'm grabbing things from my shared folder. So I'm going to start by grabbing the ground here, and I'm going to maybe add in my portal. And I'm just going to move the location of the portal so that it's sort of further away up on the hill, though I don't want it floating in the air. I want it just a little bit inset in the ground over here. So that looks okay for the location. So next up, I'm going to work on adding some obstacles. Because I'm going to have a lot of the same obstacle, I'm going to actually add a node 3D to control all of them. And I'm just going to rename that as obstacles. And so I'm going to drag my obstacle scene onto that node 3D. And the nice thing about that is I can turn off the visibility of the obstacles to control any obstacles that are a child. And so that's really helpful with play testing later on if I want to be able to test the portal behavior without having to get through all my obstacles. I can just turn them off while I'm testing a different feature. All right, now I do want to be careful with the placement. If I have this too high, it's going to be floating. Maybe you do want floating obstacles. In my case, I don't. So I'm just going to set that in a little bit more. So Command D, when I want to duplicate, I can have as many different obstacles as I want to. I can come over to the transform settings and I can play around with the rotation. Maybe that's going to be more sideways. Again, I want to be careful to make sure they're not floating. Maybe I want this one actually standing upright. Maybe I want the size to be different. And maybe it's going to be obscuring my portal so that it's less obvious where it's located. And maybe one of these bigger ones is going to be on its side. Maybe it's not going to be quite as tall, so we'll put it just lower. And I can continue repeating this process for as many obstacles as I want. Now, I'm just going to leave it like this to save a little bit of time. But that's pretty much everything that I need for my level here. I have my ground, I have my portal to change levels, and I have some obstacles in place. And I can control the obstacles appearing or not with that node 3D. And at this point, I'm ready to save. So it's just Command S to save. I don't want to save in this shared folder. I want to go to my levels directory, and I'm going to create a folder for level 1 here that I'm going to be saving in. And notice again, I'm not leaving any space in the name. So I'm just going to create that folder, and that's where I'm going to save my level 1 scene. So that can save, and that's it for level 1.